Sri Lanka live to fight another day in the tournament.
Welcome back to Sri Lankan Cricket Podcast with Vida and Bora. We are catching up after a win against Afghanistan. Sri Lanka still in with a chance, depending on other results. Bora, good win against Afghanistan in Brisbane.
Yeah, it was a good win. First of all, kept them to a good score. At one point, you could see the game, waving through, but then I think we brought the game back in. It was a bold move to finish off with Vanidu, but when you look at the ground, I think they played to the dimensions, made sure that the right-handers beat into the long boundary, and kind of it worked in our favor because that over kind of dragged them from going past that 150, 160 score, and then was a good effort with the bat. Dhananjay De Silva finished it off, batted through, and got the win home for the boys. So we're still in with a chance. Now it's doing what we can to win the game and then waiting for some of the results to go our way. It's a very slim chance, but you never know with wet weather around. Yeah, there are things that'll a bit uncertainty, but before everything, we just need to win the next game, which is against England, which is it's a tight game. But if we win that, and then whatever goes around needs to happen, you'll hear more. Because I think number one, England has to lose today.
Yeah.
New Zealand has to keep winning all their games. England to lose today gives us a bit of a chance. And Australia probably needs to lose against Afghanistan
or Ireland.
Yeah, so those are the scenarios that will need to be played out for us to think of getting into that into the semi-finals.
Yeah, you're right. I mean, we were lucky to get a game on today. Brisbane was expecting 20 mil of rain, and the rain stayed away. That's a good thing. I mean, we would have been out of the tournament if we didn't play the game. So we just have to hope for the best and get ourselves behind New Zealand to win this game. Yeah, it's starting just now, actually. England are batting first. They won the toss. Not something they normally do. They like to chase. But maybe because they played few games on that pitch, they want to bat first. We obviously struggling with injuries. Bora, I know Vanidu did well bowling the last over, but will that be an option against England? I doubt it. We'll have to get one of the fast bowlers to bowl at least 2 of the last 3 overs, Bora. I don't think we can depend on Theekshana and Vanidu to bowl the last 4 overs.
No, not against good teams. Not against good teams, and I think the last game's to be played at the SCG. So that's going to be a shorter boundary.
One side is very short.
Yeah, so we could have. It depends. Like if there are 6-7 wickets down, probably can chance it. But then when against an English who's got a really deep batting attack, probably we can't go down that line. I know we got the win with this 11, but it's like with the number 8 of Charmik. I mean, he wasn't performing, which meant we had to make that move, but it means we are a bit light on our batting. So interesting how we'll go. We definitely want to finish off with the fast bowlers. And at the moment, the fast bowler who seems to know to survive it is Pramod Madhushan. I say he is Kasun Rajitha seems to stick to his natural length, which is just good length, and when at the death overs, that's the hitting zone.
Yeah.
And Lahiru Kumara, he's got speed but doesn't have the variations in terms of breaking it up. So um, that means a bit of pressure on who to finish up towards the end.
Yeah. I mean, going into Sydney, Bora, I mentioned this before. I might think of bringing in Van der Sar instead of
Yep.
play one of the fast bowlers and then Charmika. Even leave the Kasun and promote both of them out. Bring in Charmika and Van der Sar.
Yeah.
Well, that's
I think,
it strengthened the batting and strengthened the bowling as well.
and I think the good thing if you bring in a guy like Jeffrey into the attack is means Mahesh has to open with the ball, and I think
It's
in
not a
this
bad
tournament,
thing.
yeah, it is not a bad thing. This tournament, he struggled through the middle to the back end of the innings because the length he's hitting here is, even though for the spinners we have the good length and slightly back of a length, which Mahesh generally bowls and hopes the ball to skid and sometimes depends on a bit of natural variation.
Mm.
Um, and on good tracks and everyone talks about the bounce, how it comes on to the bat, the length. Mahesh's bowling actually sets up for them to hit through.
Mm.
Even today in the Afghanistan match, they managed to get after him for a bit. So, but again, it's Mahesh. He's still learning. He's new in the circuit playing in these conditions. I
Yeah.
mean, he's dominant in Asian conditions. So
Mm.
he'll need to find what's that length he needs to stick to. Probably the best person they can learn off is Rashid Khan, who's played a lot of big bash cricket out here. And he's a proven performer in conditions here. So when that means if Jeffrey comes into the 11, Mahesh would open.
Mm.
Might give him a chance to open with Kasul Rajitha, who seems to be good with the new ball.
Mm.
Um, and then you've got Lahiru Kumara, and Vanidu will probably bowl through the middle as well towards the back end, and it's and Pramod Madhushan. I think Pramod should play, so Chamika will stay out. I
Okay.
reckon. It's depending who comes in for Jeffrey. So you have um, Pramod.
Kasun.
Yeah, so you can't. You'll have to leave either Kasun or Pramod, one of them out, because
Yeah.
otherwise we'll just have in a bowl. We'll have a very shallow
Yeah. Yeah.
batting order. So, um, yeah. So then possibly just talking it out loud with her to get your Jeffrey Van der Sar combination working, you might need to bring in Charmika. So
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. So leave Kasun and
Pramod
Pramod out.
out.
And that
Yeah,
solves our batting. Well, I know he's not in red hot form, but he's
yeah,
the all-rounder we have in the squad.
correct.
And
And
yeah, he can bowl in the depth as well. Like he has done it before.
And I think just to touch base, batting form in T20 now, it's boundaries per ball. So if the number 8 is a key player who comes in and he's able to hit 3 boundaries. If we can hit 3 boundaries, which is of 3 balls, that sets up that game towards the back end. And out of this group of players, we have Charmika is your best fit. I know he struggled to hit it, but um, that's what a number 8 has to deliver on in T20 cricket. So it might be 15 to a 20 score that we are looking, even a 15 score of 4 or 5 balls,
Yeah.
which is what he'll get to bat when he's batting with a set of batters through the back end.
No, you're right. Like if you bat 10 balls and you said 3 boundaries, so that'll get him to what, 15 runs of 10 balls.
Yeah.
So which is he has done his job if he's doing that.
Correct. that's that impact we want, which kind of pushes the score. Like in the Afghanistan score today, they couldn't find that score at the back end, so they finished at 140 for 148, which was the score. 144 at the where they finished up. But if they had that batter who found that extra bit, they would have gotten to 160, and then that might have had that bit of scoreboard pressure on the game. So on paper, we know we don't have that. Again, this is like if you roll back, say a guy like Alahiru Madhushankar. This, I think I spoke about his name sometime back. Like an all-rounder who could come in like a swap for a player, but
he's not there.
Can't go back. He's not there. Exactly right.
Oh yeah, that's a combination in my head, Bara. I'm trying to think Sydney and trying to solve this bowling in the depth, and well, that's the team in my head. And looking at the points table, I don't think we'll have to worry about the net run rate, Bora. We'll have to just win and see what happens, because New Zealand, if New Zealand wins and if we beat England, it's either us or Australia, and Australia has to lose a game, isn't it? So there's no point, having a better net run rate. Just get the win and get the 2 points and hope for the best.
Yeah, I think it's going to come down to that pretty much. So many scenarios you could think of, but then that's not in our control. So we just got to win the game we have in hand, and hope New Zealand keeps winning, because that means they'll hold the top spot. And between England, Australia, and us, we fight for that second spot to grab a top 4 within the group. So between the 2 group stages. So there's still wet weather around, so more games.
Yeah. So there's another scenario, because there's 2 games to be played in Adelaide, and New Zealand to win tonight, and if we beat England and Afghanistan Australia game get washed off, they go 1 point each. That means we are on 6 points, Australia on 6 points, and then it'll come net run rate. So there's a scenario like that too, because you know how weather patterns work on this part of the island, right? Like it's always most of the time comes from Adelaide when we get the bad weather. So I don't know. It's doing my head in now. We keep an eye and see how it goes.
Yeah, it's interesting. One thing I want to touch base with, we come back into the cricket. Something I noticed was on the back of that poor fielding performance we had against New Zealand. If we talk about momentum, everyone knows what happened about the Glenn Phillips, early into his innings. Wanidhu Hasaranga comes in and Pathum Nissanka drops a pretty straightforward catch at long off. So, and then we kind of knew what happened, but there was a massive shift in momentum, in terms of momentum, how poorly we fielded, or the transition from there, how far we struggle to hold the ball, and seeing a lot of mistakes on the field. Today I saw a big difference. One thing was I saw Wanidhu Hasaranga covering the long on spot.
Yeah,
he patrolled that area, and I saw him running back and forth. Took a boundary catch as well. Dasun Shanaka, I know he missed one at short extra, but correct. But then so many things he would have been thinking about, what decisions to make on the game, and then you go high or low hands, and then fumbled it. But then I saw him patrol the deep mid-wicket boundary when Wanidu was bowling. So he went to the hot spot there to cover it. So there is a bit of decision making in who's covering which area in the field, um, which we have to do because we don't have, let's put it this way, we have limited good fielders and we have a lot of spots to cover. So we're trying to
Yes.
um, shift a few areas. That means Dasun has to go out.
Yeah.
Atum's probably struggling with his movement. He's got a groin injury,
Yeah.
which he's nurturing through. Wanidu, yes, we got him there. Dhananjay probably can move into better
Up and
positions because
down.
he's one of the better fielders. But then when you think about the rest of the bowlers, you got Mahesh, Lahiru Kumara, Kasun Rajita, Madhushan, Charita Srilanka, Panuka. That's a lot of fielders that we need to, move around. So
That's another reason why I'm telling to bring in Charmik again into the
yeah,
team. At least he's in the field.
yeah.
Yeah. Now it's getting interesting. We are getting towards the business end of the tournament now. So we'll probably have a chat before the England game. We might do a mashup with Murli and podcast.
Yeah, it would be good to get in touch with the boys, see how they're going. Talk about cricket, bit of friendly banter between the English setup and then the Sri Lankan setup out there as well.
But every ICC tournament, Sri Lanka makes upset beating a top team. So this time it has to be England for us. So I don't want to call it early, but I think we are in for a good one.
We generally do well against England in ICC tournaments. So even the 2019 World Cup where
we beat
England
them.
won, we beat them. So we do find ourselves in good positions with them. Or we need to get the results at the moment. Like what we got to, I think what needs to happen is Kusal Mendes. I mean, we've touched base about the importance of Charmika being that number 8 and performing, and we've seen him struggle so far. Kusal Mendes is another key player and a key position that he plays in, has to deliver on the goods. So unfortunately, his T20 record out here hasn't been the best. I know he's gotten a few scores, but not against regular, top playing teams. So
I don't know. He just had to play his natural game, bro. That's what I'm thinking. Like, he's that's how he plays his best cricket. So I know he's I don't know whether he's still scared of the criticism. To maybe one reason why he's holding back. Now's the time to do it.
Criticism's gonna be there, and I think Sri Lanka. I mean, we find ourselves in a better scenario than what the Indian players face. I mean, it was in the you would have seen the social media scenario of someone getting into King Kohli's room and getting the excitement of videoing it, sharing it on social media. Unfortunately, that person is out of a job today because of his excitement not being able to keep it to himself. So he would have thought, okay, I'm gonna let the world know the inside scope of what's going on first.
There are few people who wants to break a story first. Seen few people got in trouble doing that. So I'm not talking about fans. I'm talking about
popular figures.
Yeah.
It happens. Everyone wants to be the first out there. So
no, anyway, let's wrap it up, isn't it, bro?
Yeah, I mean, good momentum. Let's hope by the time we get to play in England, we'll probably know what the setup is, whether we need to make or break one, because think we play the game after Australia has played Afghanistan. So you kind of know where things are at, and could be a knockout game.
Yes. So they're playing on Friday. We are playing on Saturday.
Yeah. So by then, all that scenarios that needs to happen would have been played out, and then we just do, win the game, and we know what's the next step. So it's gonna be a quarterfinal game for us if things work out the way we need it to. If not, it will be a dead rubber game where we might as well give the opportunities for everyone in the traveling squad to play and make a. But I think the flip side of that, or not the flip side, the importance of winning is I think we need to finish top 4 within the group to be
automatic qualifying.
So so can't give test or T20 caps for fun again. So.
No. We've done it too far too many times in the past. So no. Yeah. So let's wrap it up there. If you have anything to tell us, just send it to srilankancricketpodcast@gmail.com or send us a message through our social media. Give us a like, give us a follow. As Bora always say, send us up the rankings. That's how all the other people find us. We'll catch up soon. Thank you for listening.
Cheers, guys. See ya.
Bye.